In this video, let's talk about worksheet management. When you save an Excel file, it's called a workbook, and a workbook can have multiple sheets. And in fact, there's really no limit to how many worksheets you can have in a workbook. The limit will be dictated by the amount of memory you have in your computer. So in this case, I have quite a few worksheets down here. Very often you can have so many sheets, if I move this scroll bar over, that the sheets get covered up. You can't see them all. So these two buttons on the far left, these arrows, will help you navigate to the end, and then you can use the button to get back to the beginning. You can also right-click on any one of these buttons, and it will open up a dialog window, an activate window that shows all your sheets. And so then you can click on one sheet in particular, hit OK, and it will move you to that sheet. In this case, I'm going to move my scroll bar over just a little bit. Going back to here, most of the things that you can do with the worksheet, you will do with the right click. So if I want to rename this sheet, it now has me in rename mode, and then I can click anywhere and type a new name to this sheet. The other thing I can do with the right click, let me get out of rename mode, is change the tab color. So in this case, I'll just make it a light blue. Now, while it's selected, you'll see the green underline of that sheet name, and so that tells me it's the active sheet. And then once you click on another sheet, that color really comes in. But while it's active, the color is faded. You just get a little glimpse of the color of that tab. If you want to add a new sheet, you just hit the plus button. You have a sheet right here. You can click and drag it to move it to wherever you want amongst all your other sheets. Now, the next thing you want to probably do is be able to move or copy a sheet. So one way is through this dialog box. The other way I just showed you how to move a sheet, you just click and drag it. If you want to copy a sheet, so let's say I go to this worksheet management, I can click, but if I hold down the control key, if you notice there's a little plus sign that goes just above my cursor there. So by holding down the control key, I'm now copying that sheet. And so if I let go, it says Worksheet Management 2. If I want to delete a sheet, I can right click and then just hit delete like that. So let's go to that dialog box. I want to move or copy a sheet. The beauty of this dialog box is, first of all, so I right-clicked on Worksheet Management. So then it's asking me, do I want to move it before any one of these sheets, or I could move it to the very end by scrolling down and move it to the end. Now, it's going to, by default, it's going to move it unless you hit Create Copy. So at that point, you're going to create a copy, and it'll do that Worksheet Management 2. And in this case, I'm going to move it to the very end of my list of sheets. And there you have it, Worksheet Management 2. One more time, I'm going to right-click on that sheet and just hit delete. Let's go one more time on the Move or Copy dialog box. Another very handy thing about this dialog box is you can move or copy a sheet to a new workbook. So if you have another workbook open, like I do, called Book 1, or if you want to start a brand new workbook, you can click on New Book, and you can choose, do I want to actually just move this over to that book or create a copy of this over to that book? So now when I hit OK, it's going to create a new workbook and create a copy of this Worksheet Management and put it into that workbook. Now you have to be careful. Notice I only have one sheet, and recognize that you are now in a new workbook, and it called it Book 2 because I already have a Book 1 open. I will delete this workbook because we really don't want to do it. Don't save it. I'm back to my original workbook. The next thing I'll demonstrate is how to hide sheets. Very often you have information on sheets that are used as lookup tables for other worksheets, and you don't need the users of your workbook to see those sheets. And so you can right-click on a sheet and choose to hide it, or I'll maybe hide this one also. And so all those two sheets are hidden right now. Now, how do I unhide those sheets? If you right-click on any sheet, it doesn't matter. You can hit unhide and notice the ... That means the dialog box will open up. And here I have the dialog box. It shows me one or more sheets that are hidden. I can choose both of them and hit OK, and now the sheets are unhidden. So that's about it for worksheet management. As in anything in Excel, there's multiple ways to do things, but in this case, when in doubt, right-click on a sheet And most everything that you need to be able to do, from delete to rename to change the color to move or copy, is right here in that dialog box. And then of course, if you right click on these arrows, you can activate any sheet in your list of sheets.